The psychology of people who are too aware. Hidden truth. There's a type of person who notices everything. The pause before someone replies, the slight shift in tone, the look that lasts half a second too long. And while everyone else moves on, they stay there, replaying it, analyzing it, questioning what it really meant. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Because being too aware isn't just a personality trait. It's a psychological pattern that can either become your greatest strength or quietly drain your entire life. Today we're uncovering the 7 hidden psychological truths about people who are too aware. And by the end, you'll understand something most people never do: why seeing more often means suffering more. Let's start with the first truth, the one that shapes everything else. Awareness turns into overthinking. People who are highly aware don't just see things, they analyze them constantly. A simple conversation doesn't stay simple. It becomes, why did they say it like that? Did I respond wrong? What did that look mean? Are they upset with me? Their brain doesn't stop at observation. It builds layers, meaning to interpretation, to assumption, to doubt. And this loop doesn't end. It expands. What others forget in seconds, they replay for hours. What others brush off, they dissect. And here's the problem. The brain treats uncertainty like a threat, so it tries to resolve it again and again and again. But most social situations don't have clear answers, so instead of resolution, they get stuck in overthinking cycles. What this leads to: mental exhaustion, anxiety, indecision, loss of confidence. They're not thinking deeply anymore. They're trapped in their own mind. The harsh truth? They don't struggle because they're not smart enough. They struggle because they can't turn their mind off. And this is where it gets more complicated. Because it's not just in their thoughts, it's in how they experience the world itself. Hypersensitivity to people and environments. Highly aware people don't just think more, they feel more. They pick up on things others completely miss. A slight tension in someone's voice, a forced smile, the vibe in a room shifting, emotional undercurrents no one talks about. They're like emotional radar systems, always scanning, always detecting. This is often linked to what psychologists call high sensitivity. But here's the double edge. The same ability that makes them perceptive also makes them easily overwhelmed. Because they don't just see emotions, they absorb them. Someone's bad mood, they feel it. Awkward tension, they carry it. Unspoken conflict, they internalize it. And over time, this creates something dangerous: emotional overload. They walk into a room and leave feeling drained even if nothing happened. They interact with people and later feel exhausted even if the conversation was normal. Why? Because their brain is processing words, tone, body language, energy, hidden meaning all at the same time. So while others experience life on the surface, they experience it in layers. And the deeper you go, the heavier it gets. But the most intense part isn't how they see others. It's how they see themselves. The more aware you are, the harder it becomes to escape your own mind. But now we're going deeper. Because the real struggle of highly aware people isn't just how they think about the world, it's how they think about themselves. 3. They are both the thinker and the observer. Most people just think, but highly aware people watch themselves thinking. Every action, every word, every reaction is monitored, analyzed, judged. This is known in psychology as metacognition, thinking about your own thinking. And while it sounds like a powerful ability, it creates a hidden conflict. Because now there are 2 voices in their mind, the one living the moment and the one observing, evaluating, and criticizing it. So even in simple situations, they're not just talking. They're thinking, am I saying too much? Do I sound weird? Did that come off wrong? Why did I react like that? And this creates something exhausting. Constant self-monitoring. They can't just be. They're always adjusting, correcting, reevaluating. Over time, this turns into self-criticism. They replay their mistakes, magnify small flaws, question their own identity. The painful truth? They understand themselves deeply, but rarely feel at peace with who they are. And this leads to something even more isolating. 4. They see too much to fully belong. Highly aware people notice things others ignore. Not just emotions, but patterns, intentions, hidden motives, subtle inconsistencies. They can sense when someone is being fake, a conversation lacks authenticity, a relationship feels forced. And because of this, they struggle to just go along. Small talk feels empty. Surface-level connections feel unsatisfying. Social norms can feel artificial. So what happens? They start to feel out of place. Not because they're better than others, but because they see a different layer of reality. They crave depth, honesty, real connection, but rarely find it. And over time, this creates a quiet feeling. Loneliness in a crowded world. They can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. And when you combine this isolation with a mind that never stops thinking, something even heavier begins to form. 5. They are more prone to anxiety and rumination. Highly aware people don't just think about the present. They live in the past, replaying what happened and the future, predicting what could go wrong. Their mind becomes a loop. What if I mess that up? What if something goes wrong? What if they think badly of me? This is called rumination, repetitive, intrusive thinking that doesn't lead to solutions. And the more aware they are, the more material their mind has to analyze. More awareness leads to more thoughts. More thoughts lead to more anxiety. It's not that they want to worry. It's that their brain is constantly trying to predict, control, prevent. But life isn't predictable. So instead of control, they feel overwhelmed. They struggle to stay present. Even in peaceful moments, their mind pulls them away. This is why many highly aware people have anxiety, feel mentally tired all the time, and struggle to relax. Their intelligence doesn't protect them. In many cases, it intensifies the struggle. But here's where most people get it wrong. Being too aware isn't just a burden. There's a hidden advantage, one that can completely transform their life. Up until now, it all sounds heavy. Overthinking, self-doubt, isolation, anxiety. So here's the real question. If being too aware feels like a burden, is there any upside? Or is this just something you have to suffer with forever? The answer is uncomfortable, but powerful. Being too aware is not the problem. Not knowing how to manage it is. 6. Intelligence doesn't guarantee happiness. Highly aware people are often deep thinkers, sharp observers, incredibly insightful. They can understand human behavior, emotional patterns, complex ideas better than most. But here's the paradox. The more they understand, the more complicated everything feels. They don't just see what's happening. They see why it's happening, what could go wrong, what it might lead to. And this creates a strange reality. While others live simply, they live inside complexity. A relationship isn't just a relationship. It's dynamics, intentions, psychological patterns. A decision isn't just a decision. It's outcomes, risks, long-term consequences. So instead of clarity, they experience mental noise. And this is why being intelligent, being aware, does not automatically lead to peace. In fact, without control, it often leads to the opposite. But here's what most people never realize. The same awareness that creates chaos can also create extraordinary clarity. 7. Their hidden advantage that few talk about. Let's flip the perspective, because being highly aware isn't just a weakness. It's raw potential. When managed correctly, these people become deep thinkers, creative problem solvers, emotionally intelligent, highly empathetic. They can see what others miss, understand what others don't, feel what others ignore. And that's powerful. But only under one condition. They learn how to regulate their mind. Because here's the core principle. Awareness with no control leads to overload. Awareness with control leads to power. So what does control actually mean? It doesn't mean shutting your brain off. It means not believing every thought, not analyzing everything to the end, letting uncertainty exist, returning to the present moment. It means knowing when to stop thinking, even if your mind wants to continue. Highly aware people don't need to become less aware. They need to become more selective with their attention. Because attention is energy. And where your attention goes, your mental state follows. If you focus on doubt, you feel anxious. If you focus on problems, you feel overwhelmed. If you focus on meaning, you feel pressure. But if you learn to redirect it, everything changes. So here's the truth most people never hear. Being too aware means you see more than others. But it also means you carry more than others, and your life will depend on one decision. Will you let your awareness control you, or will you learn to use it? Because in the end, your mind can be a prison or a tool. The difference is not how much you see, it's whether you know when to stop looking. If this felt a little too accurate, that's not a coincidence. It means you're one of them. And that also means you have more potential than you think, but only if you learn how to master it.